addiesdive has just released a vintage-inspired watch from the early 50s with this nice texturized dial, homaging the Explorer honeycomb. Let's take a look at this homage. What's up everybody, this is Coda, God Tier Watches here. If this is your first time watching, we do top 10s, reviews, and also watch discussion. So if that's something you're interested in, hit the subscribe button and follow along the journey with us. Today we're reviewing the AD2096 that is inspired from the Explorer honeycomb, as we mentioned, from the early 50s. These are incredibly difficult to get for the real thing, but you can easily find this on AliExpress here with the homage design, which I think is an acceptable homage to make because it is very difficult to obtain one of these guys. But without further ado, let's flip the camera around and check this watch out. Alrighty guys, this is the watch box that it comes in from addiesdive. Very standard casing, hard shell plastic casing that addiesdive tend to use with most of their watches that I've ever reviewed from them. As far as what comes inside the box here, you get nice cushioning just to protect the watch. Comes in this little plastic. Get the warranty card with nothing written on it, a manual, and a pin removal tool that you get with it just to remove the links easier. These are useful to have with like something like a mallet or a hammer to take out the screws, take out the links I mean. But that is pretty much everything inside the watch box here. And this is the addiesdive out of the box. It looks gorgeous, honestly. Very nice homage. The dimensions follow a very aesthetic vintage design here. It comes in a 36mm case diameter, a weight of 112 grams with all the links, but I've removed quite a lot of them because I have a very skinny wrist here. Lug to lug is a 46mm, so very wearable with this one. A lug width of 19mm and a thickness of 12mm, and a water resistance of 100 meters with this guy. But let's talk about the case finishing next. As far as the case finishing goes, I'm happy to say it is utilizing a 316L construction stainless steel with that one. Great use of consistent fine brushing. It's like almost like a circular pattern used rather than a vertical fine brushing. It's got high polishing on this side bezel, as you can see there. Very, very highly polished, so fingerprint magnet with this one. Also note that high polishing is used on the fixed bezel here. And of course, as I mentioned before, this case is not original by any means, but it is quite nice. It has a bubble mineral crystal to give it that more vintage look. Gives it that distortion, has AR coating with that one, so better visibility under the sun. And this wearable compact case of being 36mm just makes it that much more wearable for small to medium sized wrists. And it does come with plenty of links to support that for larger size wrists as well. The crown is signed, however, they use this ugly Sea Hunter logo here, which I do not like at all. And I'd like to see a shift in their logo change. Possibly just a simple initial of A for addiesdive written on here. I think that'll be a lot cleaner rather than this like Sea Hunter logo. It just doesn't fit the aesthetic simply. Like, this style is a vintage style watch, so it being a Hunter logo on the crown just simply doesn't make sense. It's just not a sensible decision. But on a positive note, the crown is quite easy to grab with that one, and it ensures 100 meters of water resistance with a screwed down crown. Flipping it over to the case back now, it also comes with, you guessed it, the Sea Hunter logo again. I won't repeat myself again, but this just needs to be changed. Now with this watch, you'll see that it's ticking 4 times per second, and the movement encased in this watch is none other than what is said to be a VH sweeping movement, which I believe is to be a VH31, which is commonly used for a lot of these movements for that are mecha quartz. Mecha quartz combines the best of both worlds. You get the accuracy of a quartz and you get this visual 4 times per second rather than the standard 1 time per second tick like a traditional quartz does. It's got a battery life of 3 years that it's said to be here, and yeah, it's quite accurate, does the job, and you get nice sweeping movements there without having to go get an automatic. So yeah. As far as the bracelet goes with this one, it has a lug width of 19mm, which is not quite the standard. Normally it's 18 or 20mm with this one. But I would say it's quite cheap feeling. It's quite light, honestly. I have removed a lot of the links that have been included with this watch, but it does taper from 19mm here and it goes down to 16 here. which suits the theme of this 36mm compact case. It consists of vertical fine brushing on this bracelet, but polishing on the sides used here, which is quite standard. It uses a link system, so you can use the link removal tool with that one, push it out on the other end. It's pretty simple, but it's quite standard for a lot of the cheaper watches on AliExpress to use this link system. No real big complaints, just because it is quite affordable. They're spending more money on the case, the dial, which I think is acceptable because, yeah, you can always change bracelets on any of these cheaper watches to elevate that watch further. The good thing about this bracelet is it utilizes a female end link with this one, so it has better drape, conforms better to the wrist, so the bracelet is comfortable overall. However, it is quite jangly to say the least. So yeah, keep that in mind. As far as the clasp goes as well, it comes with 5 micro adjusts here, so you do get a bit of flexibility just to make sure it ensures a better fit. So I guess that's a good thing to say with the clasp. But again, it uses my least favorite logo here. It's the Deep Sea Hunter with the addiesdive etched on here. But overall, clasp, it's a milled clasp, so you can't really complain for the price that you pay for this watch. So good adjustability, good comfortability overall. Now, different to regular Explorer homages, this one has the option to have a patina yellow look, as you can see, which I opted out for here. You get this nice yellow hue to your indices and also on the inside of the handsets, this one being gold. And you do have the option to also go for a white indices and handset with silver handsets instead. And as you can tell, the dial is what's to die for here. Look at the texture on this guy. It is incredible what they offer for this price point. Very nice, fine-tuned, detailed, crisscross pattern on the dial, giving it a lot of texture. I do love a lot of texture if I say so myself. I'm a big fan. And I think instead of just a plain sunburst dial or just a matte dial, it really brings out a bit more texture and depth to this watch. So I really love that, especially with the gold handsets. It gives this really elegant touch. And the indices with the triangle at the 12 o'clock and the thin batons, followed with the numerals featured on the 3, 6, and 9 position, I think just creates this really symmetrical look to the dial and just looks great. I'm really glad that they used the addiesdive cursive font instead of the regular Sea Hunter logo, because it is definitely a lot more suited with this aesthetic. I mean, I think anything is better than that logo, let's be real. But as far as the dial goes, I think it's everything you can ask for a dial at this price point from addiesdive. They're really good with their quality of their dials. Really happy with the outcome, but let's test out the lume on this guy, see if it is good. addiesdive are known to be the best budget lume testers as well, in my opinion. So let's give this watch a proper look using a lume test. But as far as the lume test goes, as you can see, it's nice, crisp and clear, and addiesdive, they just hold up so well. It's crazy how much they can pack into a watch with the quality of the dial. Bracelet being a bit cheaper, but the lume and the dial handsets all just work so well. The case as well, it's still comfortable at the end of the day. That's what matters. They always just hit the nail on the head. The best budget kick, I'd say, in all areas of watches overall. But without further ado, let's get the wrist shots on this guy because we need to see how good this fits on my wrist. Overall, a very pleasant experience with this watch. Very nice and light, and it just looks great on my wrist. I think it's just a classic design. You cannot go wrong with the Explorer homage design at the end of the day. With a nice dial, nice texture, and a bit of yellow patina look, which is a bit different from the usual that I go for, especially with gold indices, because I normally love just all silver, but it is a bit different. Just going slightly outside my comfort zone while still maintaining a nice looking watch at such a good price, addiesdive. Subjectively, I think they are overall the best brand here on AliExpress just because they nail their lume, they nail their quality of their dial, their handset, the indices, the case quality. I think it all just works and marinates perfectly. Of course, the bracelet's normally the biggest letdown for them, but I think it's quite acceptable considering the price point. We're looking at the price of around the $60 US, so we really can't complain much further because I think it's a great watch at the end of the day. But what are your thoughts? Would you pick this one over the traditional Explorer homages or opt for this honeycomb design textured dial here instead? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and thank you for watching God Tier Watches. My name is Koda, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.